Hey, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Glad to have you here. And if this is your first time here, welcome. Hope you stick around. It's 2025, and as we all know, that means we've got a whole lineup of new game releases coming our way to add to that ever-growing backlog of games in your collection. I'm here to give you details and some of my thoughts of 10 of my most anticipated games coming out this year that you should also look forward to, as well as 4 bonus titles at the end that you may have missed the announcement for during the last couple of months. You can expect most of these titles to make it to this channel in some shape or form as the year progresses, and I look forward to bringing you all the good, the bad, and the ugly as releases roll out. But for now, let's get on with things. You know the drill. Let's talk about it. Love you all. Heading up this list, we have Borderlands 4. Now, my friends and I have logged in countless hours with this series. We played the hell out of Borderlands 2 with many memorable LAN parties at my place, and I've had a decent amount of fun with 3 as well, and now 4 just looks like everything we loved about 2, but bigger and better. From what was shown in the reveal trailer, it looks like Hyperion has gone back to being the big bad, and I'm here for all the crazy shenanigans that this will involve, as the humor in this series is one thing that has never disappointed, and every new version of the game just seems to get better and better, so I'm very excited to try this out. New vehicles and a traversal mechanic such as a grappling hook have been added to the experience, and as with previous titles, you can play the main game solo or co-op with up to 3 other players, and I've always loved how seamless it was to be able to jump into someone else's game and vice versa and just pick up the game wherever the host is in the story without ruining your own progression, and also with the game seamlessly ramping up enemy difficulty to match however many players there are currently. This leads to some crazy antics when a high level player is playing with a low level player, and trust me, you don't want to miss that. Gearbox figured out this formula all the way back in Borderlands 2, and I've only made it better since by paying close attention to how players interacted with the game and the mechanics to enhance this experience with each title. The title doesn't have a set release date yet, but is scheduled to come out this year and is slated to come out to the PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X and S, so I'm keeping a keen eye out for this one, and you should too.
All of the men in this room are bound by blood.
Mafia, The Old Country, is another title published by 2K. The guys also behind the Borderlands series and spin-offs, and the setting for this title looks like it goes hard. The Mafia series has been a long-time popular franchise despite some hiccups here and there, but has been making a good comeback of late with some of the decisions the team has been making. And I'm hoping this title, set back in Italy, aka The Old Country, is everything it promises to be from this nail-biting cinematic trailer. The game is based in Sicily in the 1900s, in the fictional town of San Celeste, which was previously featured in Mafia 2. It is based around the origins of the Mafia. The narrative follows the original protagonist Enzo, who journeys from a childhood of indentured labor in Sicily's sulfur mines to joining the Torrisi crime family, with the development studio saying the team had a plan to take the game back to the roots of what fans loved about the franchise. So we can expect this to have a much more linear storyline than the more open-world experience in Mafia 3. The trailer was quite good and cinematic, no gameplay quite yet, but the title is scheduled for release mid-2025 and coming to the PS5, PC, and Xbox Series S and X.
Must have burned like this saint. If I do not keep my oath.
Welcome, Enzo.
Next up, we have The Altars. Now, here's a concept for you.
What if you could change the decisions you regret in your life and see the outcomes of those choices with your very own eyes?
Now, if that doesn't tickle some curious part of your brain with some of the possibilities that this could lead to, then I don't know what to tell you. The player assumes control of a miner named Jan Dolsky. Jan needs to pilot a massive wheel-shaped base along the planet's surface to stay out of the range of the sun, which is basically trying to kill him with lethal radiation. It's a survival game in which players need to explore the planet and mine for resources and materials, which is essential for maintaining and expanding the base, which is really only part of the battle. To survive and escape before sunrise, he must create altars. Alters are alternate versions of himself who made different life choices and therefore have their own distinct skill sets, lifestyles, and personalities which come with each of their own quirks that you need to manage to avoid disaster. It sounds absolutely insane, and a lot of development work must have gone into this title, and I'm excited to see the results. The Alters comes out early 2025 with the first quarter anticipated release date and will be landing on the PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X and S for your enjoyment.
Obstacles on the outside, internal tensions that could prove to be even more dangerous, and with a ticking clock of the deathly sun behind our backs.
Now, I love me a good old-fashioned couch co-op game, and Split Fiction looks no different. Developed by the same team that produced the hit title It Takes Two. Oh, watch out for my video where I attempt to teach my fiancé with that, by the way. Coming soon. The title promises to be bigger and better in every way, and I'm absolutely going to be trying this out with her as well. You assume control of either Zoe or Mio, two authors who became trapped inside their own stories. The two must work together and overcome various challenges along the way, requiring players to complete a mix of objectives including platforming challenges and occasionally combating against hostile enemies. The game is an action-adventure video game played from third person, and as Mio's science fiction story interweaves with Zoe's fantasy story, putting both characters in a lot of danger, players will need to navigate and complete each stage, which is often accompanied with a unique but once-off gameplay mechanic specific to that level. Split Fiction was specifically designed for split-screen co-op multiplayer, which means that it must be played with another player either through local or online play, and with only one player needing to own the title for online play, it means you can bring your friends in for the ride, which is absolutely brilliant in my books. The title is coming out on March 6th and will be releasing on PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X and S, and I can't wait to jump into this one.
Time to die.
Excuse me?
People come north to disappear.
Ghost of Tsushima was actually the first game I played when I got my PS5, and also the first game I played start to finish without pause in a very, very long time, and it was one hell of an experience. And now, 4 years after the release of the first title, the sequel was announced with an amazing spectacle. The game starts a new origin story rather than continuing the story of Jin, this time with the protagonist being a young woman named Atsu on a journey of revenge. It's set in 1603, which is about 300 years after the time period of the first game, and the reveal trailer gave away some hints as to some changes we can expect from the game, such as her ability to dual-wield katana, which had actually become more common in the time period that this is set in. With the game being designed for the PS5, unlike its predecessor, we can expect the developers to take full advantage of the power of the console and awe us with some breathtaking visuals as we explore the region of northern Japan where Mount Yotei is found. Ghost of Yotei is slated to come out as a PlayStation 5 exclusive later this year, keeping in line with similar big releases from Sony, and as has been the trend recently with big releases, a PC release will likely follow sometime later down the line. Now, Avowed kind of snuck up on me as a game to watch out for, if I'm being honest. I hadn't heard much about this title up until the reveal trailer that came out at the Game Awards, and that had my curiosity piqued right away. The combat in this title conjures up the image of if Ghostwire Tokyo and Morrowind had a mutant magic baby and let it loose on medieval times, and given that this title was developed by Obsidian, that shouldn't come as a surprise, as it was initially supposed to be Obsidian's take on the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, but later during the development, the studio decided to go in a different direction, closer to some of their older titles, and this shows from what we've seen in the trailer that recently came out. The story takes place within various locations in a fictional land known as the Living Lands, and players will be able to explore this both in first and third person as preferred. With a heavy focus on story and characters, you'll be able to take on quests with up to 2 companions, and similar to other games by the studio, some NPCs become part of your party as the story progresses. I'm really looking forward to stepping into this to feel the wait before Fable 4 comes out. Avowed is scheduled to come to release on February 18th, and with Obsidian being a studio under Microsoft, not surprisingly, this is only coming to PC and Xbox Series X and S on launch. Another Obsidian Entertainment title, with Obsidian doing what they know best. If you're up for a good old-fashioned space adventure with a lot of humor, then look no further than Outer Worlds 2. As with the previous game, the adventure takes place from a first-person perspective and involves the players navigating the Arcadia star system, which is new for this title, and employing a mixture of combat, stealth, and dialogue systems to get through the story. The game has been in development for a good few years at this point, ever since the success of the first in the series, and from the epic gameplay trailer revealed during the recent Game Awards, we can expect this title to be twice the size of the first game.
And like all good sequels, we've included everything that should have been in the first game. More action. More weapons. And more graphics.
And I'm excited as hell for this one. I played the first game on PC and also have a copy on PS5, and I know fans who loved the first title just like I did are in for a great time. The initial announcement for Outer Worlds 2 back in 2021 had it releasing as a PC and Xbox console exclusive, but after the recent gameplay reveal trailer, PlayStation fans will be glad to know that a PS5 release has also been confirmed on launch day, which is expected to be later in the year after the other release from Obsidian, Avowed, has had its time to make the rounds with its earlier February release date. So whether you play on PC, PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, you can expect this title to find you sometime this year.
Welcome back to the future. Try not to break it again.
The continent of Pywell. A land soaked in blood by the battles of those who seek peace and those who seek to shatter it.
Now, Crimson Desert is an ambitious looking project, and with no wonder given all that's going on with the recent trailer from Gamescom last year. The original trailer for the game was revealed at the Game Awards in 2020, and then this was followed by a long quiet spell from the development team that left us with few details to work with and wondering if this project was still alive. But recent activity has put a lot of these fears to bed and instead left me now wondering if they will actually be able to pull off everything shown in the last gameplay reveal trailer. Watching it reminded me a bit of Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, with some of the combat and mechanics shown, not to mention what looks like the protagonist being able to fly a dragon, and I was sold right away. Even though I'm still wondering what the hell this game is about, but regardless, I'm definitely locked in. We still don't have much info regarding the story, but it's set in a medieval fantasy setting, in the world of Pywell, with you donning the mantle of a mercenary called Cliff, who seems to be the leader of a ragtag group of mercenaries, or group of allies that you are recruiting to your cause as you explore the different regions of the world. Crimson Desert will probably be a single-player game, thankfully branching away from the MMO format of its predecessor, and also why it's landed on this list, and it's slated to launch on PS5, PC, Xbox Series X and S, and also macOS late 2025, so watch this space.
We'll live on. This is our mission.
Windscale, the pride of Britain.
Set in a dystopian alternative history where the 1957 Windscale fire, which is actually one of the worst nuclear accidents in the world, certainly the worst one in the UK, Atomfall's narrative explores what would have been had the nuclear fallout affected the Lake District of Northwest England. As the protagonist, you play someone who has lost their memory and is exploring a quarantine zone established in the area about 5 years after said disaster, and that's where our story will focus, as we slowly uncover what happened in the area while facing various challenges from mutated creatures to cult members as well as military that's gone rogue and even giant robots. Rather than having one big area to explore, the team from Rebellion Developments chose to work with their strengths, which meant that the game is designed with smaller interconnected zones that the players will slowly explore, acquiring leads and clues that will guide them on to new objectives. It's touted as a first-person action survival game, with players having to manage their character stats such as health and heart rate during encounters. But here's the twist. Apparently, the entire game can be completed without killing a single enemy. That's right, there's a stealth mechanic too that allows you to do this, although the opposite is also true, where you can just kill everything in your path. But this route is going to be a bit more of a challenge, as you'll have to manage your resources very carefully to craft weapons and tools, and if you're using guns, well, ammo is going to be quite scarce, so choose how you engage encounters wisely. Atomfall comes out on March 27th and will be available on both PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Series X, S, and PC.
Dearest daughter, I've watched ye grow from a devilishly curious child into a remarkably young lass.
Now this has been a title, if you're like me, that we've been waiting for a very long time, even before Cyberpunk came out.
Overcome adversities aplenty.
The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt originally came out in 2015 and is described as one of the best-selling video games of all time, and for good reason.
Ye fill out your destiny.
with many players donning the mantle of Geralt of Rivia and logging countless hours spent with the main story, side quests, and additional content added through subsequent expansions that released, it's finally time to once again become a Witcher. Except this time, you're going to be stepping into the shoes of Ciri, Geralt's adoptive daughter, as the game's protagonist, who we see aspiring to become a seasoned monster hunter. The reveal trailer was an absolute masterpiece, taking me back to all the previous Witcher release trailers and how they left me feeling both thrilled and anxious for what's to come. And that should come as no surprise really, given that the cinematic trailer was done by the same animation studio responsible for all the intro cinematics for all the previous Witcher games. Apparently, the assets used in this trailer are from the actual game, so that's just got me really excited for this. According to the game's director, the development team are using lessons learned from Cyberpunk 2077 to enhance the experience for players, with improved gameplay mechanics and more flexibility in narrative choices, with the aim to improve how main story missions, open world activities, and side quests tie in together. So it should be quite interesting to see what this looks like when it's all put together. The title doesn't as yet have a release date out or specifics on which platform it will release on, but if history is anything to go by, we can expect this to come to all major current gen platforms, PS5, PC, and the Xbox Series. Couple of bonus ones here for you that almost slipped under my radar, but I did come across them when I was making this video and thought that they might be kind of interesting.
As your combat AI, I have to warn you that pressing the wrong floor may lead to unexpected consequences.
First up is Spine, and this game looks insanely cool as hell, combining elements of gun fu, cyberpunk, and a third-person shooter to make this a crazy John Wick Sifu meets Max Payne experience that I can't wait to get my hands on. It's coming out on PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X and S, and I think it's gonna be hell of a good time if done right. No release date as yet, but I'm watching this space carefully. Ballad of Antara. I still can't believe that this is going to launch as a free-to-play game, with everything that this game promises to be after seeing a glimpse of the action in the recent 14-minute gameplay showcase. I hope it lives up to this. It's a gorgeous looking game, and with a very interesting combat mechanic that allows you to swap out your playable character mid-combat. That just looks cool as hell. Ballad of Antara was initially a PS5 exclusive, but that has been updated to now include a PC release as well, but with no confirmed date for when to expect either, it should still be dropping this year. Now I'm going to date myself pretty badly here and ask if anybody remembers playing the original Turok Dinosaur Hunter on the Nintendo 64. Yeah, I mean, the series is that old, but even then it was a hell of a game, and now after a bit of a wait, we finally have the franchise being rebooted again in what looks like spectacular fashion with Turok Origins, if the gameplay reveal trailer is anything to go by. I really enjoyed the Horizon series, and this kind of looks like a glimpse of what that would be with more tech and guns in your arsenal, not to mention the crazy DNA powers we caught a glimpse of in the trailer that seem to be tied into skills or abilities of some sort that you can unlock based off of what you hunt. So be guaranteed I'm all in on this title. Turok Origins will be coming to major platforms, PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X and S, and is already available to wishlist, which leaves me hopeful that we will be in fact getting this title sometime in 2025, hopefully sooner rather than later. Project Century. Now this one almost didn't make my list because there's such little information about it out there, aside from a lot of speculation that according to studio director Masayoshi Yokoyama is all wrong, and the studio is purposely keeping us in the dark, which is why it made it to this list. The anticipation. The game's visual art style and teaser we were privy to has done the trick to get people talking about it, and all the speculation is just adding fuel to that fire, which I think is a brilliant marketing move. I'll be keeping my eye on this one and update you all once more information is available, but until then we just have to settle for this equally gorgeous and brutal glimpse we were given. Are you as excited as I am with some of these releases? Honestly, I love how good some of these trailers look, and I hope they live up to expectations, because we've all been burnt a little by one release or another, and some of these just look like they could be absolute winners. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. As always, thanks for watching. Let me know what you'll be playing down in the comments below. Until then, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.